Well, I had a few interruptions, but I did have some time to work on this assembly. I do have the trigger assembly constructed, printed and constructed, and I'm in the middle of tuning it in, you might say. But you can see what I was doing now with the fields. I now have a surface I can mount to. These are magnets for the DC. I put the ball bearing down in there for the front axle. And so the cavity that I cut open is for this gear to drop down into. So this assembly would be screwed down onto that. And when the engine turns, that wheel will turn. And there's bumps on that wheel, as you can see right there. And as this wheel turns, those bumps cause these switches to activate. And right now, it's a little too tight, and I've got the switches mounted too close, what it amounts to. This switch in particular is mounted too close. I had a tight spot up there, and I took advantage of it and tried to push it forward, and I messed up. So I got to send that back and then see if that helps. And also I may have to change my gear a little bit. This is the first time I've built one of these. I've built one before, but it was all like handcrafted. Everything was filed and everything. So in here I'm trying to use factory prints. We can even see this particular switch right there is sticking down, and that's preventing my gear from fully engaging. So I'm going to have to raise that mount up, and then that's going to change. If I raise it up, that's going to change its position relative to the cam. So I have to reconsider that whole piece here. I may have to flip it over. I flipped this one over and I had fairly good success, but it's also a little tight, so I have to push it back. Anyway, so it's an alignment thing. It's certainly not a groove problem because the gear fits. Everybody's happy down there. It spins freely until I put the cams in, or the switches in, and I put them in too close. So that's where it's at. And the idea, what I'm going from, as you might remember, is from that to this, or the gear is black, but you can see it. And you can see the switches. You see the wires. Goes back to a board. This goes back to other boards. Down here is a sound board. Over here is a smoke control board. So we're going to use these pieces to evoke chuff sound and puff of smoke. This system works, but it had the built-in boss. You can see right there. It didn't have to have the machining. It already had it done. That was one of the other chassis. This one had to have the machining, and now I'm building this engine up so that it has the digital puff and chuff. That's where I'm at. So that's taken a little longer to get this piece, I would say, ironed out, but it's almost perfected. I mean, it has to work perfectly or the whole thing isn't going to work. So I got to get it right. And that's going to take time fiddling, reprinting. That's the latest piece that I've printed. And I can show you here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces that I've printed in organizing, testing, refitting. I'm printing them at very low density, and they're coming out pretty fast, anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes. So it's not too bad, but it takes time. Yeah, it's going to take a little more time, but thought I'd let you know what's happening. Not slacking, just working through the issue, and I'll get it, and then we'll see it. We'll see it in action soon. Okay, later.